Welcome to The Dreaming Son. In this video, you're going to learn how you can help people make the changes they want to make by learning a simple process as outlined in the book Instant Influence by Michael Pantolin. So why is it important to learn this process? Well, life is all about relationships, and when you know how to help motivate those people around you to make the changes they want to make, then all of these relationships become even more healthy. Also, by learning this process, you will have a powerful tool in your kit bag that you can use to help motivate people around you in a variety of situations, such as at work and at home, and even strangers, to make changes in less than 7 minutes. So what is the Instant Influence process? It's a 6-step method that involves you asking the person that you're going to influence a series of questions so they can find in their own reasons why they want to change. And it is these reasons that the Instant Influence process finds. So how do you actually use the Instant Influence process? Well, as I said, it involves asking the person that you're going to influence a series of 6 questions. But before you begin, what you want to do is make sure that you have the permission to ask these questions from the person that you're going to be dealing with. So to do this, you always want to give them the freedom that the choice is theirs. This takes away the law of psychological resistance. This law states that the more we try to tell somebody to do something, the less willing they're actually going to want to do it. So therefore you want to always invoke the other person's freedom by saying things such as, the decision's yours, to make sure that they're not getting railroaded into doing anything they don't want to do. So now that you've got their permission, let's move on to question number 1, and that is, why might you want to change? So you'll notice there that I use the word might. This is known as conditional language, and again, this just stops them feeling like they're being pressured into doing something that they don't want to do. So this question, why might you want to change? It really focuses on the part of the self that actually wants to make the change in the other person. So through this whole Instant Influence process, that's what it's all about. It's all about getting the person to focus on the reasons for change instead of the reasons why they don't want to change. And by asking this question, we're first of all tapping into that part of themselves. So for example, somebody might do a throwaway comment such as, I want to quit smoking. Instead of going straight into it and saying, yeah, you should quit smoking, it's bad for your health, you get cancer, and all of those different things that I've already been told thousands of times, you actually ask them, well, why do you want to stop smoking? And for them, it might be, well, I actually want to save some more money so I can do other things with that money and go on holidays and trips. And this is the stuff that they've never been told before, and they're actually finding their own internal reasons. And once they find their own reasons, this is the part that will motivate them to stop smoking. So now question number 2 is, how ready on a scale of 1 to 10 are you willing to make this change? With 1 being not at all and 10 being completely ready. This is an important question because when they answer it, it's not a yes and no. And if somebody says no, then it's very hard to move them and keep them going along the process to motivate them to make the change. Also, interestingly, what studies have found is that where people put themselves on the scale of motivation doesn't actually reflect if they will actually make a change or not. Therefore, it's not actually really important how motivated they are on the scale. It's just to be able to set them up for the next question so we can move them along to find their own reasons. So once you've asked question number 2, we move right on to question number 3, and that is, why didn't you pick a lower number? This often shocks the person that you're dealing with because they're often thinking, well, you're going to get asked, why didn't you pick a higher number like everybody else is in the past, always trying to force them to do something. The problem with this, when you ask them to pick a high number, is that they start focusing on the reasons why they don't want to do something. And when they don't want to do something, what are they doing? They're building internal representations in their own mind, and that's going to disempower them. And when you're in a disempowered state, as we know from NLP that all behaviour is governed by the state you're in the moment, then they're going to be less likely to make those behavioural changes because they're in a disempowered state. So by asking them, why didn't you pick a lower number, they're actually going to start telling you the reasons why they're actually motivated to make the change instead of the reasons why they're not willing to make the change. So for our smoker's example, if he might have picked number 4 and you ask, well, why didn't you pick a lower number? He might respond with, well, I know there's a few different options out there to be able to quit smoking, so I can start exploring them. So question number 4 is all about future pacing the change for the other person. This is done by asking them, imagine you've made the change you want to make. what would the benefits of this be to you? So again, what they're going to start doing is going to project themselves into the future at a time when they have made the change. So in our smoking example, he's quit smoking, so now he starts thinking of all the benefits of actually making that change. So he might start saying, well, I've got an extra $50 a week that I can put away, and I can go away once a month on a holiday, and my clothes don't smell, and I'm not worried about traveling in a plane because I won't have to smoke on it, and I won't get anxious on the plane. So he starts building up all of these positive representations to himself, and this starts fueling his desire to make the change that he's actually talking about in the future. The important thing to remember about asking this question is framing it in a way that makes the change seem effortless for the other person. You see, they don't want to have to think that it's going to be a hard struggle to go through this change. So, you could start saying, imagine if I click my fingers right now and you've made the change you want to make, you're no longer smoking, what are the benefits going to be to you of making that change? So once you've gone through question number 4 and you've found out what outcomes are important to people, it's now time to ask them why. And this is simply done by saying, why are these outcomes important to you? Now, every time they actually say, why is something important, you actually ask them why again. And you do this 5 times. And this is really drilling down into the deepest reasons for wanting to make this change. For example, if we go back to our person who wants to quit smoking, and he says that it's important that he has more money, and we're going to say, well, why is it important that you have more money? And he might reply with, well, what I want to do with more money is I want to go on more holidays. And you can ask, well, why is it important to go on more holidays? And he goes, well, I just feel run down at work. I don't feel like I ever get away. I feel a bit stressed. And I feel a bit, I don't have an exciting life. And then you can start asking, well, why is it important to have an exciting life? And he goes, well, if I have an exciting life, I've got plenty to talk about. I can be more attractive. And then you can ask, well, why is it important to be more attractive? And he says, well, I'm single at the moment, and I really want a strong, healthy relationship that I can share these experiences with, that I'll have when I'm going away on these holidays. So you see, by drilling down, we've actually found to the essence of why he wants to make the change is to quit smoking so he can have more money, so he can actually find a healthy relationship and have all these experiences with. So that is his core driver. You see, if we went about it the other way and we just start telling him our own reasons why he should change, then he's never going to get in touch with what's actually driving him. And it's these, as I said earlier, it's his own reasons that's actually going to make him want to make the change. So now that you've found a person's reasons to change, it's time to move them over to actually making them change and taking actions towards it. And this is done by asking question number 6, which is, what is the next step, if any? So this is the part where we actually start formulating a plan about how to make the change a reality. The thing to remember with this is we want to make the next step as small as possible so that they are likely to achieve it, so that they're going to build confidence with making the changes they're going to want to make. So for example, in our smoking friend, he might start saying, well, I want to quit smoking, that's my next step. And you say, well, that's probably not realistic. How about we take it down 2 smokes per week for the first month? And he goes, well, yeah, I can do that. That's no problem. And then he starts sounding himself on being able to actually make the change. And to his own mind, it's going to be a lot more achievable. And once you get to the end of the first month, he's got the confidence, and you can say, well, let's take it down 4 smokes. And gradually going down, and then within 3 months, he might have quitted smoking instead of always overestimating how easy a change is to make and keeping on failing and building in a belief that starts saying that, I can't change, I can't quit smoking. If you want to learn more about how to actually help people make these changes, then I suggest you buy the Instant Influence book by clicking the link below, because it has a whole section in there about how to actually develop these action plans to help people make the changes they want to make. So action steps moving forward. First of all, just start becoming aware of how people try to influence other people to make changes. Start being aware of how they try to force opinions on other people without actually getting to the heart of why the person actually wants to make a change. And then start bringing in this instant influence process with people you're dealing with by asking them a series of questions that I've outlined in this video. And also, if you want more help about this, then I really suggest you buy the book, because it goes through with more examples and deeper explanation of each step in the Instant Influence book, which you can get by clicking the link below. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it, leave me a comment if you have any questions, or share it with anybody else that you might think that it's beneficial for, and I'll see you next time.